Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make gluten-free Cranberry Bliss bars. These little babies are so addictive, let me tell ya. If you've had Starbucks Cranberry Bliss bars, you might already know this, but I have never had them. However, I do have my son here who can eat gluten and did a blind side-by-side taste test for me, and he couldn't tell the difference. So they're beyond easy to make, so let's get into it. Okay, first I'm going to line my pan. This is a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, and I've cut little slits about 2 inches deep into each corner of this sheet of parchment paper so it'll fit better and be easier to remove the bars once they're cooled. I've also preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll set this aside while I make the batter. So this is basically a blondie batter. I've got 1 cup or 226 grams of melted butter here, and I'll just pour that into my bowl. You can also do this with a handheld mixer or even by hand. It's just a little thicker, so you'll need a little bit of elbow grease. I'm adding to that 1.5 cups or 300 grams of brown sugar, and we'll just mix this together just briefly until smooth, like maybe a minute or so. And then this is the zest of 1 large orange. Just get that right in there. The orange and cranberry go together so well. And I'm adding in about a teaspoon, give or take, of vanilla extract. You know how I am with vanilla extract. Then comes the eggs. I have 2 large eggs. These are at room temperature. Alrighty, we'll just beat this up until smooth. I'll just give it about 30 seconds is really all it needs. Now I'm going to turn the mixer down and add in my dry ingredients. This is 1 3/4 cups or 245 grams of my gluten-free all-purpose flour blend. And finally, I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. Okay, just give that another 30 seconds or so. It's a really thick batter, just like any other blondie batter would be. All right, now I'm going to add in all the good stuff. I have a cup or 170 grams of white chocolate chips and 3/4 cup or 90 grams of dried cranberries. And I'll just add these in by hand. I'll grab my pan and just spread this thick batter into the corners of the pans and then smooth the top. These will bake for 20 to 22 minutes or until they're light golden brown around the edges. That's all they need to be as far as brown. Okay, I'll let these cool while I make a quick cream cheese frosting. I have 1 block, which is 8 ounces or 226 grams of softened cream cheese, and I'm adding to that 1.5 cups or 187 grams of powdered sugar and just a teeny bit of orange zest. And this is, of course, you can't forget vanilla. This is about a 1/2 teaspoon, give or take. So we'll just get this started on low initially and then crank it up once all that powdered sugar isn't in danger of flying out of the bowl. And then I have some melted white chocolate chips here. This is about a 1/2 cup or 85 grams, but I'm going to add almost all of this and just save about a tablespoon or so for the drizzle on top. Okay, this is perfect. My blondies are nice and cool, so I'll just spread the frosting all over the top. And then I have a 1/2 cup or 60 grams of dried cranberries that I chopped up fine, so they're in little pieces just like Starbucks does. And I'll just sprinkle those over the top. When I first started drizzling the white chocolate on, it was so cool in my house that it was cooling off before it even came out of the baggie that I had put it in. So this is going to go in the fridge for about an hour just so everything is nice and firm. Okay, to slice them like Starbucks does, we'll lift this whole thing out of the pan, and then we're first going to slice them into squares. So once you have all the squares done, then we go back and do it diagonally in between each square, so you end up with 2 triangles from each square. And that's how Starbucks serves them, as a triangle. And that is it, you guys. These are, to say the least, very, very addictive. I absolutely love the texture combinations here between the crunch from biting into a white chocolate chip in the center to the chewiness from the cranberries to the smoothness of the frosting. But the taste is like a flavor explosion of fresh and tart in your mouth. Seriously, give these away as soon as you make them before there aren't any left to give away. Enjoy!